Hi YouTube. Hope you're doing good. I'm having a pretty good day. Not too bad. Freezing out like it was yesterday. Um, I don't know. They said it's not going to be too bad in a few days here, so we'll see. I might get interrupted. I'm not sure, but if I do, I'll just deal with it when it happens or if it happens. Um, yeah, I spent a little bit of my time today, maybe an hour, looking at dogs online. I had posted, I told you I posted that. Some people posted some photos of little dogs because they don't know how to read, but no big deal. And the one was cute. She kind of reminded me of my girl that just died. So I don't know. No, I don't. We'll see with the little dog. They if they live for 25, 30 years, sometimes, and that I don't want to leave anybody lonely. That's just silly and selfish. But I did see one that had a Great Dane Mastiff and Ridgeback mix, and it was a white dog, just beautiful. But that's a little too big, maybe. I don't know, but I do like Newfoundlands and Great Pyrenees, and they're very large too. But I saw a really beautiful German Shepherd that somebody had found. Well, the animal rescue shelter had found it. Now, I don't know, that could be somebody that had just dropped their dog off that couldn't afford to take care of it anymore. That happens in the country a lot. Or it could be a dog that has problems staying on a leash. So I'm kind of leaning more towards a puppy. But I did see a German Shepherd mix puppy, and it really didn't say the breed. That's one thing I don't like about it. If they really don't know, I mean, it's yeah, but a lot of times when people take puppies to a shelter or a rescue, they know full well where it came from. It's either two dogs that they had that they weren't responsible, or like one time I had a yellow lab in my yard, and the neighbor dog Cody was a border collie, and they didn't keep their dog home, and my dog was only 9 months old, and I wasn't going to get her fixed because she was a yellow lab, a very beautiful dog that somebody stole. But she ended up having a litter of puppies, and a lot of them were like pure white. I didn't have a problem really getting rid of any of those puppies. So I don't know. So I spent some of my day. Then I found one that looked like it could be oh some another person sent me a picture of a labradoodle. My dad gave me one of those before, and I ended up giving it to some kids out on a farm. It was a rather stupid dog and wouldn't stay out of the garbage, and it was 9 months old when I got it. And it's like adopting somebody else's problems. And then people were saying, well, if you get purebred dogs, you won't have the health problems. And I said, well, I bred my Irish setter, and I happen to know that a lot of dogs that are bred, even the Kennel Association, American Kennel Association, they have some dog breeds that they breed that are overbred, and their inbreeding brings health problems into the dogs. Like one dog I adopted was a purebred King Charles Cavalier, and they have a tendency to get this disease that gets gross in their head, and their head can't contain their brain when it swells, and it starts coming out of their skulls, and they die usually from nerve damage or heart failure, that type of thing. But the people I got it from, they got it for their daughter, and they were just going to shoot the dog. The poor dog did not have a dog house. It lived in a body shop that Doug worked at, and would lay in the body shop dust to get rid of its bugs and stuff. Very long haired dog. And she was overweight, and because she'd go over to the neighbors and eat potato chips and that type of thing. And he told Doug that they didn't take care of the dog. And when I got her, she was black and white with sort of pink on her fur, because some of them are the brown, the liver colored and white. But the pink, when I first saw her in the car seat when Doug brought her home, I thought she had blood on her fur and I just totally freaked out. But no, that wasn't it. So we had her for a while. In fact, my last little dog grew up with that one until she did die. So, yeah, it was sad. We actually had to put her to sleep, but we used gas, which was, you know, more humane than shooting her. And um, actually, she had gotten shot down by our creek by the neighbors, and she was sick anyway. And so Doug had to put her down. So, and it was his responsibility that he took on from somebody else. But we had her for several years, like about 6 years. And she was probably, oh, maybe 6 years old when we got her. So she had quite a long life. But that was Abby. I'd call her Abby Doodah Day or Doodle All Day. And then I'd sing to her and she'd laugh. And she is a good girl, really good dog. So, but bigger than most King Charles Cavaliers because she ate too much junk food. She was in better shape when I got her, except with the growths. And they don't just happen in the skull of the dog, they happen on the inside, kind of like that elephant man disease, only on the inside. I had an aunt with a disease like that. So, but yeah, so inbreeding can be a big problem. And that's something with purebreds too that I have to, and the same with crossbred dogs, so mixed breed or mutts as they would call them, you know. So I don't know. So that took a part of my day, and I'm sure I'll get more notices. But one dog I was interested in, another woman said, if Barb isn't interested, I am. And I thought, well, that's okay, you know. But the woman goes, PM sent. And I thought, okay, well, that was rude because I had showed the picture of the dog to Doug and he thought she was cute. And that one looked like, and she wouldn't even tell me the breed of the dog, but it looked to be kind of a boxer mix or a pit bull, which I'm not really leaning towards the pit bull, but I am looking for something that will keep the neighbors' dogs out of my yard and be a good watchdog and a guard dog. Now, I found this Rottweiler that they had to give up because it chewed up their other dog. I could get something like that, and definitely those neighbor dogs would stay away. But I'm not that mean. I don't want to do that. So I just want somebody that's going to tell me when there's somebody in the yard, or, and it's not for sure. Like I said yesterday, I was leaning towards not doing it, and they hadn't posted my post yet because I've had a few arguments with these ladies locally before. So, animal arguments, you know, when my chicken got chewed up and dogs in the yard and just the, I don't, a lot of immorality around my town. And so, we all know each other who we are, you know. A lot of them are inbred too. I'm just, it's true, you know, cousins, second cousins marrying, and that's kind of gross. But they do that in little towns. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my cousin's cousin is my cousin. I'm my own grandpa. Know that song? That's funny. Very funny song. So I don't know what's for supper tonight. Last night I had cottage cheese and some potato chips and Polish sausage. So yeah, not sure what tonight will bring. I don't know. Doug took the Polish sausage out because he wasn't talking to me, and he gets like that after he does something like that. He'll go and sit by his computer and he'll be like really quiet. Then, if I want to talk to him, I'll have to go and talk to him first. So it's like, nah, that's cool. I'm cool, you know, cool with it. Or like he would say, "You're cool, aren't you?" And I'd say, "Yeah, pretty much." you know, not not conceited, but am I? Yeah, a tiny bit. You know, that kind of comes from striving to be more than what I was led to believe that I was. You know, so and I'll just tell it like it is. I had a short, fat, witchy mother that treated me like garbage, and I wasn't like that, not towards people, and I never would be, and I never will be. And I have noticed in my life that people of low self esteem have a tendency to treat people that don't with um, poorly, like or more than poorly, if you know what I mean. If you've ever had, well, you know what I'm saying, men or women, you know what I'm saying. Just the way they are. They act trollish, or like ogres. Come under my bridge or under my bridge. Oh, yeah, that's a troll, and I'll eat you. Yeah, or they smell bad. Okay, that's the ones I'm talking about. And they'll eat your head off just because you don't smell bad. Do you ever notice that people with a bad disposition seem to carry a bad odor along with their disposition? I have noticed that. And, like in horror movies, they'll have like the smell of sulfur and feces mixed or something, and with like demonic entities and that type of thing. I really think the worse a person thinks in their life, it comes out of them in more ways than one. I was thinking, and this is true, and I'm going to sit down and make a list of things that will not work with the Illuminati just so they'll know. But I'm sure that everything I'll have on my list is things that they're hoping at least one thing will work. But one thing that I'd like them to take note of is the tuberculosis shot. TB has not been eradicated in the world by vaccines. And everybody in the medical profession, at least in the United States of America, we had to get our TB shots. I've had it two different times. One different hospitals I worked at, um, it was up to date, but I went and did other things in the school system. And so the last retirement home I worked in, I've worked in ones that were combination hospital retirement or just retirement homes or whatever. But the last place, and then I had to get my shot again. So my point is, if with all this that's going on, and it's never going to really be entirely eradicated, then why can't I get out here and say, if you haven't had your TB shot, you should stay home? You either get that TB shot. Now, I'm not giving the dark cabal any ideas because they're all full of shit anyway. I'm just making a point that I have had my TB shot and most people haven't, and I should be forceful and say, if you haven't had yours, you need to get yours or I'm going to get TB. That's about as much sense as what they're doing to people right now. Exactly the same amount of sense that it doesn't make any sense at all. So, yep, and that's about the 14-minute mark. These people, I'll put it on there for them, because that is an important message. The same thing with the polio vax or smallpox or chicken pox or any of them have never been totally eradicated by any kind of serum or magic potion. It just hasn't, you know. It was a little weird working in a old tuberculosis hospital I worked in was a treatment center, and I could just feel the death in that place. That was really freaky because they used to send them out into the country, and this was by the lake. It was called Pine Shores Treatment Center, and thinking that the fresh air and whatever would be good for their lungs. And in all reality, the moisture by the lake was probably worse. I don't know, but I'm assuming so. But there was a lot of souls that died in that place. Like I said, I could just sense it, especially in the basement. It was just a freaky place. Kind of like going into a morgue or whatever, a mortuary, or the morgue in a hospital. And it's just really gross if you've ever had to do that, So my one uncle was a mortician. He was creepy. His name was Richard, and I said, "Hi, Uncle Richard," one time. He says to me, "My name is Dick." And I thought, boy, is it ever. you know, you know. I thought I was being polite. That was really my nature and my intention. I thought, why call him by a nickname that was offensive? But he enjoyed it, so it was probably very little. Um, the conversation. No. Yeah, that was short too because and so was he because yeah, I just didn't like him. That was my adopted mom's brother, so yeah, both her brothers were one thought he was a playboy and he come running down. I've told this story before, but it's just so funny. And my cousin tried to kick me when I told her dad was a slut, but it's true. And she found that out. But she's 2 years older than me, and he come running down out of his house, white suit, light blue shirt underneath, white shoes, which is just totally disgusting, ladies, if you hear me, and goes to jump in his sports car, and he asked me what I thought about his car or whatever, and I said that I didn't like it, and he started hating me real bad. Yeah. He died at a young age. He remarried. He left his wife and children, and he was a cheater. They found that out, and he was a strange one. I've told this before too, but it's just weird. They had a tennis court that used to be a pool area and made it into a tennis court. Okay, whatever. But then you could walk into their basement, and there was a double toilets in there sitting side by side, his and hers, and double sinks. It's like, okay, you're just really weird, strange, you know. Why not even put like a divider, sit there and hold hands while you're pooping? Okay, isn't that cute? That's some crazy shit. Weird people, you know. I just think, you know. Yeah, that's my problem. I think I really do. I got this bad habit. It's called I like to use my brain along with my heart and my body. They all kind of go together like the Trinity. So anyway, yeah, it was snowing again earlier this morning. Um, Not bad, and it's still kind of melted, but um, not sticking on the ground like it would with a huge snowstorm or something. But yeah, it's still kind of icky. I don't know. I like the snow, and I used to love it a lot. And I'm entirely thinking about snowboarding this year again I love to ski too and ice skate and all the winter sports. Even play hockey, but and I'm a hell of a goalie. Boy, them boys hated me playing with them because I was good at it, you know. But uh, when I had other injuries, I wasn't able to get out there and do what I wanted to do. And now, if I do, I'm going to have to be really careful, you know, but I still will. And I'm better at skiing than I am snowboarding. So, but I don't have skis, I have a snowboard. But I could always rent skis. If Doug skied, I'd be going skiing all the time. But with the snowboard, I can just do it on our hills around here. So, yeah. So I might. But I have to get some more winter boots. The ones I have, they're sorrels. They're nice for like going out and working and stuff, but they're really clodhoppers for trying to do any sports in them like that. So, um, yeah, I have to get something a little more comfortable for that. I mean, I could use them, but I just want to be able to, if I have to jump out, because I go goofy footed, one in front and one sideways. Um, and so I want to be able to slip out of it real quick if I have to. So, yeah. Do any of you do any sports? Or I love to swim and hike, and I will mountain climb, but not with the ropes and harness, which I have done, and I've repelled into caves and stuff. But uh, that was really not my thing. But yeah, let's see, what else do I like to do? Um, I love hunting for agates. Um, love horseback riding. Let's see. Oh, volleyball for real. Basketball, baseball, or softball rather. I love playing frisbee. I like to golf, but I prefer mini golf, putt putt golf. That's very fun. That's something I'm going to see if I can make Doug do. I can't really make him do it, but I do have golf clubs. Maybe I could make him do that. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just stuff to keep busy. But volleyball on the beach or in the water is really fun. Um, I don't really like to ski because water ski because I've had my arms ganked out of my shoulders when I was young a lot, and I have the tendons around them are injured, and then with my recent injury I had, I probably wouldn't be able to do it anyway. But we used to have this thing we called the submarine. It was just a board of plywood, and it was shaped like that in the front, and we'd be able to push on the front of it and dive under as the boat was pulling us and then come back up. That was fun. Or inner tubing down a river, that's fun. Or sliding, that's fun. I'd probably kill myself nowadays if I did that. I do have a flying saucer. They are a little bit uncontrollable. I had a really nice sled when I was a kid, and I don't know what happened to that. Probably given away or whatever. And then we had toboggans. We had a big one and a smaller one. I bought my kids a toboggan and some little skis, and my little cousin lived with us for a while. When he was 4, I bought him a little pair of skis. And the first thing he did, he said to me, we talked a while back ago. Um, he's kind of a womanizer, so we ended up not being too good of friends. But the first thing he did was fall on his face, even though I was trying to teach him how to snow plow. and he just fell right over on his face. Not too athletic, you know. And he still hates skiing to this day. He said he tried it another time when he got older, but yeah, it wasn't his thing. So, yeah. Oh, I like canoeing. I'm not big on kayaking, although I have done it. But um, like when we were lifeguarding, and when I was a junior lifeguard, and we had to learn, like on a beach, we took a 18-foot canoe and sunk it in 20 feet of water and resurfaced it. And then we did it in 30 feet of water and resurfaced it, just in case, you know, learning how to do things and learning how to survive in if there were accidents and those. And I have saved life. That's lucky things, like around water, you know. Boy, this one woman, and I couldn't believe it. Talk about a woman not caring about her kid, was paying attention to the older daughter while the little one was swimming by herself and started sinking. And there she is. She just keeps talking, talking, talking. And I didn't even say nothing. And I was just there at the beach. You know, I wasn't even like on duty. I just dove in and got her, and I put her in the mother's arms. I said, "You might want to watch your children when you're at the beach." You know, that was just one time. It's like a stupid woman, you know. But mm, yeah, Doug was just talking about how I saved his life the first time he ever encountered me. He didn't really hear, he heard me tell the guy to pull his tongue out of his mouth. He had fell off some concrete steps and was swallowing his tongue. And for a second, and I was pretty young then, maybe 18, 19, maybe 19, I think. I kind of started walking away, and God goes, "Do you really want to do that?" And I turned around and I said, "You might want to pull his tongue out of his mouth." And then I didn't. And I was a nurse at the time and decided to not do that for a while. And I went bartending because I thought I have to really be serious about saving lives, not just kind of half towards it, you know. So it got me to really thinking what I wanted to do for a profession and how serious was I. I mean, I always saved lives, like I've saved two epileptics and different blah blah, and no matter what, I always do it anyway, you know. But so, but that's, I saved my own husband's life so he could torture me today, you know. Isn't that odd? I think it's kind of crazy. Yeah. People that know us and knew us both before we got together were really scared when we did get together, because he's a force to be reckoned with, and they just try and reckon with me. You know, try is all they can do, you know. But that really put a lot of fear of God in people for some reason. I don't know. I guess you'd have to meet them to, or both of us together. It's a trip. Just one of us by ourselves is a trip, you know. So, well, I think I'll let you go. Yeah, Darla, thank you for telling me about that Social Security up in Canada. That's interesting. I wonder how many other countries do that too. Use the money from the people, equity in their government to make everything go around, and then you have to beg for it later. Just doesn't seem fair, does it? And what would they do without us? You know what? People in the world can make things go around without them. And we really can, in our communities, in the next community, in the next one. You know, it's like small government. Maybe we don't need the big ones. I don't know, I suppose the monarchy they have up in Canada, they hate us because we're just like we rebelled and came here anyway. So they like totally hate us, you know. So, but I love Canada. I've been up there a couple times and three, I think. Mm, 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 Three or four. But I love Canada. It's a beautiful place. So, um, no complaints with my neighbors, you know. So, okay, everybody, peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you for joining me. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at.